Before we begin, let it be known that this video is in no way attacking the game nor the people that like it. LA Noire was and is an amazing game, and I am one of those people that like it. It's just not a perfect game, cause that just doesn't exist. Therefore, every game is allowed to be nitpicked, and if you feel any form of negative emotion about this, that honestly speaks more on your character, not mine. So with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy the video. LA Noire, considered one of the best detective games ever made. A game that people would kill for a sequel, just with the likes of Bully and Manhunt, because I refuse to believe that I am the only organism on the planet that actually wants a Manhunt 3. A game that when I played it back on the Xbox 360 had an issue with. An issue that can actually be summed up by one thing. The one thing that anybody can easily use a scintilla of common sense to tell that it's clearly with one of the case desks. But the question is, what case desk is it? It's the Homicide case desk. Yeah, I'm not going to waste your fucking time here. I honestly think the Homicide desk is the most lackluster in the entire game. So much so that my first analytical video was going to be on the Homicide desk in LA Noire. But for reasons such as I had no way to properly record and edit videos, I never did it. But before I do what I do best and overthink the little things, to better get my point across, let's first talk about the traffic desk. Why? Because the traffic desk is my personal favorite. It's my video and I structured it this way, so let's go. But real quick before that, don't watch this video if you've never played LA Noire and hope to in the future, as I will be breaking down cases in both the traffic and Homicide desk. Now, the first case in the traffic desk certainly comes out swinging. Cole got a fresh pressed suit, has to go check out an abandoned car while being paired with
everybody's favorite Pole, Stefan Bukowski.
And all I'll need to say about Stefan is,
you're okay.
Anyway, we arrive at the crime scene, and the abandoned car seems to be filled with blood. The plot thickens! I told you this case comes out swinging. We converse with the coroner to be told the obvious, check the trunk to find a receipt, then scout the area, locating a bloodstained pipe, a wallet, and a home-repaired glasses. With our clue gathering done, we move on to talk to Nate Wilkie, who I just decided is very suspicious.
Mind if I ask what you were doing out here?
Well, I work for the railway. I was on my way out to the switch and reckon I'd take a shortcut.
Well, that's a lie.
Why are you lying to me? You know what happened to the driver.
You got some way of proving I had something to do with that car?
Do you know Adrian Black, Mr. Wilkie?
No, sir. That ain't a name I'm familiar with.
Come on, man.
Am I gonna have to stand here all day until you tell me the truth? You know the driver.
I'm telling you, I don't know who was driving that car. You can prove it different?
We found a steel pipe with blood on it near the car. Do you know anything about it, Mr. Wilkie?
No, sir. I went straight for the law when I saw the car was full of blood.
Tell me the truth. You hit the driver with the pipe.
You can't prove I touched that pipe. I think you should take that gun off and I'll teach you a lesson in some manner.
The wallet by the car. Was there anything in it when you arrived?
You accusing me of something, mister?
Tell the truth, Mr. Wilkie. You rifled the wallet.
My money is my money. You can't prove I touched that wallet.
You criminal scum. Why prove it when I can make you admit it?
Do you want the patrolman to hold you down while we turn out your pockets, Mr. Wilkie?
Maybe I checked inside that wallet. Not that I was gonna steal anything. Maybe I took a look. But there weren't no money in there. Not even change.
Violence has helped another case. Using the lead we picked up from the wallet, we head out to the Black residence, where we meet the victim's wife, tell her that her husband could be dead, then just start searching the place. We find a ticket for Seattle with a missing suitcase, an empty Stenzel's glasses case, an innocent picture of the victim with a not-so-innocent message that Cole just knew was there, a Kavanaugh's Bar branded matchbook giving us a point of interest after getting the address from R&I, an instant heat receipt and pamphlet leading us outside to play a pipe matching game.
Leaving the thing half finished. That can't be right. So the pipe missing from Mr. Black's heater is the same one that killed him. Huh. Seems like the assailant is a little closer to home.
My God. The house killed him. But that's going to be hard to prove. Might as well interrogate the wife and blame her.
We found a receipt in the trunk of your husband's car for a live pig. This receipt was made out to an F. Morgan.
A pig? Adrian runs a tool business. That would be Frank Morgan. God knows what he's up to.
You're lying. You killed your husband, and Morgan helped you cover it up.
How dare you? I love my husband. On what basis could you possibly accuse me of wanting to hurt him?
Was your husband wearing his glasses when he left here yesterday?
Yes, he just bought a new pair.
That's a lie, Margaret. You know exactly what pair he was wearing because you were there.
You're being flat out ridiculous now. Why don't you show me some proof of where I was supposed to be?
Did your husband tell you where he was going last night?
All he said was he was going to meet Frank for a drink.
But you knew where he was really going because you told him to meet you at the rail yards. That's where you jumped him. How did you hide the body?
You have an overly active imagination, young man. Do you have any proof of that allegation?
Tell us about the photo of Adrian in the bedroom.
What is there to tell? It's from his most recent business trip to Seattle.
There's plenty to tell. You just won't tell it. You're lying about the photograph, Mrs. Black.
You're incredibly rude and insensitive. But I guess you know that. I've told you what I know about the picture.
What about Nicole, Mrs. Black? Your husband frequents Kavanaugh's Bar?
How did you know that? Adrian practically lives there after work.
You're lying, Margaret. You're a lush. Kavanaugh's is your hangout. I think you should come clean with us, Mrs. Black. Your husband is missing, and after our search, I'm willing to call the circumstances suspicious. Can you account for your movements last night?
You're not accusing me, are you?
Yes, I am accusing you. Your husband was going to leave you. That's motive. Now your only alibi is an empty house. Get it off your chest. Tell me the truth.
Whatever your theories are, you're going to have to prove that I was there and that I wanted to hurt him. Do you think you can do that, detective?
Well, damn. She appears to be innocent. Time to get a drink at the bar and find someone else to start blaming. Oh, look. It's Frank Morgan.
Cole Phelps, LAPD. I understand you're a friend of Adrian Black.
Yeah, I know him.
Are you aware that he's missing?
No, I hadn't heard that. Tough break.
We found Black's car abandoned in a freight depot, covered in blood. You know anything about that, Morgan?
Hell no. I'm sorry to hear that. I like Adrian. He's a good boss.
Please, don't tell me you actually believe this jerk-off, Phelps.
You're lying, Morgan. You were there.
And you're talking out your ass, detective. How about you prove I was out at that rail yard?
You were there, Morgan. We found a receipt in the trunk of the car. It has your name on it. We can call the slaughter yard and nail you on it.
All right already. That fool Adrian's fallen for some dame in Seattle. He wanted me to make it look like he'd been attacked.
Where exactly is Black holed up?
No idea. I think he took off for Seattle.
Lies, lies, and more lies, Morgan. You know where he is.
What have you got that says I know where he is?
I'm tired of your shtick, Morgan. Spill it, or we take you out in the alley and we knock it out of you.
He's holed up at my place. He's waiting for some money to come through before he blows town.
Violence!
It's an apartment
Well,
house in
Black
front of
wasn't
Central
murdered,
Figueroa.
but I still want to arrest someone.
Apartment number 2.
Morgan's address.
Satisfying.
Let's get over.
Now to actually kill Adrian Black for wasting my fucking time. Never mind, more arresting. I could do with more arresting. And with that, case closed. 5 stars, baby. And yes, I needed to get 5 stars, okay? All in all, this is a banger first impressions for the traffic desk.
What an idiot.
Simple to not
arrested
overwhelm the
Clarence
player,
in your first
but
case.
just the right amount of
Style,
intrigue to
too.
keep them invested.
Well done, detective.
Moving on.
Fishing-
This case begins with some man getting hit by a car, with no one else around to report the murder. So after it gets reported, we go to the crime scene. So, taking a look around, we find the dead body. Poor man. Poor thing. Poor little man. Poor baby man, little poor baby dead face. I'm bored now. So let's pick his pockets to find a life insurance letter. We also obtain an address from the wallet, but leave the money since it's a measly dollar bill. Ain't that right, little poor dollar bills having dead loser, huh? Dead little baby, dumb dollar dead baby, huh? Ooey gooey poopy chewy diddums? What the fuck is wrong with me? Now that things are back to being professional, we can scout the area that tells us the amazing revelation that he was hit by a car. No fucking way. What we really need to aim our attention at is the alleyway that doesn't in any way draw your attention, where we find a bloody knife. Before you think I'm making a joke, zooming in on this knife is really annoying on PC. Though maybe they didn't want us to zoom in and see all those beautiful pixels. With the area scouted, time to inquire with Miss Perry. And no, from here on out, I won't do the whole asshole code since that joke has been done to death.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I came to the window because I heard people arguing downstairs.
Then what happened?
I saw a car hit that poor man and knock him down the street.
What kind of car was it?
A dark red Lincoln Continental.
Did you see the license plate?
Only the first 3 letters, I'm afraid. 3C8.
Tell me more about the argument you heard.
Well, there were 2 voices. A man and a woman, that's all.
Why are you holding out on us, Miss Perry?
I'm sorry. I was hoping to tell my story to the newspapers. I'd like to get my picture in the paper. Trying to find work as an actress, and things look pretty difficult.
Cough it up, sister. We don't have all night.
People arguing? They were husband and wife. I could tell by what she was yelling. Intimate things. Very embarrassing for the man.
Now we just go inside the bar and have a few questions with the bartender.
Not a lot. It was busy in here, and all I heard was the impact.
So what was he doing outside? It's against licensing regulations to drink on the sidewalk.
Lester and Lorna were having a fight. The owner made him take it outside. It was pretty ugly.
Do you know the victim?
Yeah. Lester Patterson. He's a regular here, or he was.
Not one of your favorite customers?
Lester was special, but not my kind of special.
Was Lester drinking alone?
No. He came here with his wife. She didn't seem too interested in the booze, though.
A witness overheard an argument.
Lester and Lorna. There's nothing like airing your dirty laundry in public, is there?
Why was Lorna Patterson in such a hurry to leave? What is going on here?
Lorna was pretty upset, so Leroy took her home. Lorna and Leroy are close. They've been talking about opening a new bar.
Leroy.
Leroy Sabo, the owner.
How long have Lorna and Leroy been talking about this new bar?
Who knows? I just served the drinks.
Bartenders hear all sorts of things. Are you going to tell me, or do we have to start playing rough?
When Lester was drinking, he treated Lorna like dirt. He gambled away all their money. Lorna pitched Leroy about the bar. I don't know how interested he is.
Is Leroy doing well?
Hell no. The only thing keeping this place afloat are the poker games.
Thanks for your help, Lynch. I'm going to need you to sign a statement with the patrolman.
Sure, no problem.
You get anything out of the regulars?
They weren't giving too much away. They liked watching Lester and Lorna go a few rounds every other day. And Lester was a fan of the love tap.
So, they had a shitty relationship. Time to use the phone and find the owner of the murder weapon.
1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need to run a partial license plate, 3 Charles 8. Cross-check possible Lincoln owners. Suspect vehicle is a red Lincoln Continental.
Just a moment, Detective. Only one possible make on that license. Registered to a William Shelton.
William, you fucking murderer.
Thanks, ma'am.
Prepare for arresting. Anyway, we're here at the car, so let's crash into the front of it to gently pull it behind it and then wait inside without eating, sleeping, or using the bathroom. What? Going inside and looking for the culprit to apprehend? What are you, a fucking idiot? Besides, he had to come out sooner or later, so it all worked out in the end. So now all we gotta do is apprehend him, maybe getting a little rough. It's the 1940s. Ooh, a suitcase? First, he uses his car, and now a suitcase? If that was anybody else, that suitcase would have fucking killed him. That's just, I'm gonna have to blow him up.
Lay into his wheel arches. Come on. Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out.
I wonder if he killed someone driving like this. Don't let that asshole get away.
Well, his car broke down. Good enough. And as you can see, even war vet Cole Phelps is intimidated by this man.
I hit him. I admit it. I just panicked, but it wasn't my fault.
What do you mean?
The guy jumped right out in front of me. He came out of nowhere. There's nothing I could do about it.
This man is lying his frilly pantaloons off. I think we need to tell the wife the good news that we got the bastard. And then the world, when you think about it, he was a dangerous man.
I see. Come in, won't you?
On second thought, she's coming off like a bitch, so I won't tell her any news. How about we interrogate her and find someone to arrest her?
How did the car come to hit Lester?
He walks straight into the path of an oncoming car.
You expect me to believe that, Lorna? It's all very convenient.
Gambling for Lester was like the needle for a hophead. He was yelling at me. He was yelling at the whole world. I kind of felt sorry for the driver. Poor guy had no chance.
What? Come on now.
You were arguing in the bar and on the sidewalk?
We were always arguing. So what?
Admit it, you were baiting him, pushing his buttons. We can easily get the full story from the regulars in the bar.
All right. Lester was playing cards out back. He lost, of course, and wanted back in. He suggested I earn the money on my back to get a mistake. That was the proposition he was putting to his so-called buddies. So maybe I was a little angrier than usual. Let's just say I took exception to his idea.
This answer. I've always had a problem with it. Does she mean that she started seeing Sabo because of this?
Explain how you'll get the money to do that?
I have a little money saved away.
You're being economical with the truth, Lorna.
You want to back that up, little man?
You increased the premium on Lester's life insurance. GI insurance policies have a $10,000 payout.
It was Leroy's idea. Lester lived on the edge. He was always getting into fights, crap games, pinochle, you name it. Turns out it was good advice.
It speaks to motive and premeditation, Lorna.
You're forgetting the hit and run detective.
Wow, what a totally not suspicious thing to say.
I'm sure we will, officer. Now, if you could both just leave.
We're leaving, ma'am.
That's right, ma'am. I'm leaving the living room to use your phone because I knew I received a message. Now, how did Cole know at that moment to use the phone?
Message for KGPL.
He reads its text. I don't fucking know. In any case, time to go see the coroner and find some way to arrest that woman. Because I'm not saying I love arresting people, but I am saying that I hate not arresting people. Oh my god, a red car! It's Sheldon! He's loose! And a woman now! Okay, this guy's basically a hitman. I have to fucking stop him. Get over here. Prepare to get stopped, you criminal scum. What the fuck? He Obi told me. Nuh-uh, you ain't getting the... What the hell? He thinks he's getting away. But I'm apparently letting him because I can't get in the fucking car. What the hell? Get in the car. He's getting away. Get in the fucking car. Okay. Oh, he thought he lost. He's trying to play video game logic to me. Thought he got away. See, this guy might have escaped jail, right? So I gotta kill him. I have no choice. Yeah, think about it. I couldn't stop him. I gotta kill him. This is it. I gotta fight. Sir, get back in your fucking car. Oh, get back in your car. Okay, I gotta stop. Guys, stay in there. I'm protecting you citizens. Vote for me. I'm saving your lives. You don't understand it. Oh my god, he's fighting back. He's getting dangerous. He can kill me any second. He can kill me in any second. He is vandalizing the property. Citizens, get back. Stay back. Everybody get back. Oh, partner. No, partner, get back. You gotta get back too. I can only handle this. I'm a veteran. You're a traffic guy. I gotta fight him. Oh, he's dodging me. Look at his moves. His moves are fucking crazy. Like, it looks like he's standing there. You can't even fathom what the fuck he's doing. This guy's crazy. But, oh my god, I can only stop him. I'm the main character. Partner, get the fuck back. Get back. I can stop him. I got I gotta. Oh my god. I don't even know he's actually falling. It could be an illusion. I can't move. It's hard to keep up. Partner, come on, man. I gotta hit him with that Cole Phelps combo. Oh my god. Looks like when I do anything, this is a fight to the death. People don't understand. Oh yeah. I got him. Oh yeah, she's fucking dead. But we all know that's actually suitcase slinging Sheldon. Now, on to the coroners.
Keep talking. Someday you'll say something intelligent.
You got a fucking problem, man?
That's that cop. Seems like a decent guy.
Oh, alright.
We can put the driver in front of a judge in less than a week.
In a box.
You'd be making a big mistake.
Run that by me again?
The victim was dead before the car hit him. 2 puncture wounds to the right side of the thorax. Second puncture reached his heart.
You're kidding me.
Been doing this job 23 years, son. No one's ever laughed at one of my jokes.
He was stabbed to death?
Bro, while driving his car, Sheldon got out, got in front of it, stabbed Lester twice, yoinked the knife, got back in his car.
I'll get you a definite match.
Jesus, we got him. Murder 1. We were right there and they tried to stare us down. Now they'll both get the gas chamber.
Oh, nice, partner. Let's blame the wife. That way we can arrest her and Sheldon is dead. A quick stop to take Lynch into custody since he could probably be used as a witness. He's not here. Just some loser that's not important in any shape or form. Well, at least I can arrest 2 people. I'm arresting both of you. I'm arresting one of you. He shot at me. Fine, I'm arresting nobody. I'll just kill you instead.
You look spooked, Phelps. I thought you'd been under fire before.
It never gets any easier, Bukowski.
Gunfights drain you. Perhaps I need a fresh pint of root beer.
Am I your man, Mr. Dumbass?
That's pretty thick-headed. But nothing compared to the rich, thick, frosty mug taste of an A&W root beer.
I guess we go back to the bar. What is he taking pictures of? And the captain tells me I'm amazing and that I saved the planet from Sheldon. Here's 5 stars. Now it's time for the traffic's final bang. With bad guys to catch and boys to banter with.
Say all spare in love and war.
See you later, fellas. Try not to work too hard.
We drive across the street to the crime scene. Bump shoulders with Carruthers, which is common in all these cases when you think about it. Anyway, he guides our attention to the trunk of a car. There are some torn underwears. Moving on. And a handbag containing a letter.
She's a long way from home.
But now we get to see what the best part is. Wow, a tiny head. I love this moment for the wrong reasons. Not only was that some awkward Hamlet delivery, but then asks if the fucking head is real.
So we can rule out the murder angle?
No, you can rule that in.
If we can rule that in, then this would be a homicide. Not a trap, whatever.
How does someone manage to tip their ride straight off a cliff? If the driver's in a fit state, we should ask.
Gotta agree there, partner. I think it is some time for some interrogating.
We understand that you're still suffering from the effects of the accident, Mrs. McAfee. The officer says that you claimed that you were drugged. Who did this to you?
That rat slipped us a Mickey Finn. It's no wonder I feel so dopey. I can't remember.
It's a serious offense to withhold information from the police during a criminal investigation, madam.
I told you to call me June. You're making me feel like an old lady. And don't bother your handsome head about this. My husband will settle the score with Mark Bishop.
What can you tell us about the passenger in your car?
Jessica Hamilton. Poor Jessica. It's been a rough day for her. She's desperate to break into movies. What more can I say?
I think you're lying, Mrs. McAfee. I think something happened to Jessica yesterday before the crash.
I'm offended, Sunshine. Do you have any proof?
Miss Hamilton's underwear were physically torn from her body.
She wanted to go to a casting. I took her to a casting. Whatever happened after that is between her and Mark Bishop.
We found a shrunken head. It was used to tamper with your car.
You see, I normally don't drive off cliffs. The last thing I remember is getting behind the wheel.
It's obviously some kind of movie prop. You must know where it came from.
In case you hadn't noticed, I am the talent. And the talent doesn't deal with props or sets or any of that kind of stuff. Why don't you ask Mark Bishop which prop house he uses?
You mentioned a Mark Bishop. You think he might have had something to do with this?
He is a movie producer.
As for his involvement, you just leave it to me and my husband to worry about.
I want to know what happened between you two that made him want to commit a double murder.
Bishop offered me a part in his picture. Then he withdrew it. Fact is, we had a deal. I pressed him on it, and this is where I end up.
Well, anyway, she wasn't honest even once. So I think she's fine and normal. Hey, you name an honest person. Exactly. Okay, that's not entirely fair. Children are supposed to be honest, right? They even come across as an asshole sometimes. So let's question one and find out.
You're likely to... Hello, Jessica. My name is Cole Phelps. I'm a policeman. I'd like to talk to you about your accident, if that's okay.
Okay.
Can you tell me what you remember about the crash?
It's all kind of fuzzy. I remember waking up here. Nothing happened yesterday.
Well, she already lied.
Tell the truth, Jessica. Why the big cover-up?
I'm not lying to you.
Your underwear has told us everything, Jessica. Didn't you listen to your meemaw? If you run with scissors, you'll trip, fall, and cut your underwears right off.
I didn't want that. I just wanted to be a star, to be in movies. I told Junie what happened, and she told me to toughen up. That was the price of stardom.
Did she now, cold-hearted bitch?
It's not Junie's fault. It's not my first time. I had a boyfriend back home, but my father found out about him.
Even if you consented, Jessica, you're still underage. We need to get in touch with your parents, Jessica, to tell them what has happened.
Oh, you don't need to worry them. They sent me along to stay with Aunt June. They trust her to take care of me.
You're lying, Jessica. How are we going to make this right if you lie to us?
Please, Detective, why would I lie to you?
Because you're a runaway, Jessica, and you don't have your parents' permission to be here. Now, do you want to tell me what really happened?
I went with Junie to this strange place. It's difficult to remember. Someone gave me a drink to calm my nerves, and then I felt faint. I think I must have passed out.
How did you meet Mr. Bishop?
Well, Junie is a big movie star. You probably know that. She's doing a new movie.
What's the story with Bishop and Mrs. McAfee? Why does he want the two of you dead?
That can't be true. Mr. Bishop seemed very happy today. I mean, yesterday.
And that's why he wedged a shrunken head against the accelerator pedal and punted the two of you over an escarpment?
I overheard Junie speaking to him on the phone a couple of times. Screaming, really. She can be very hard sometimes, Junie. But they seemed okay yesterday, like they worked it out.
I know what happened to you, Jessica. Where exactly did it take place?
Please, it's scary. It's really difficult to think of anything.
Jessica, I really need you to help me here.
I remember the mermaid.
Was the mermaid in the movie too?
No, it was on the front of a building. We pulled up in front of the mermaid.
Well, she was at least honest 1 out of 4 times. So I say a bit better than Ballard.
Think of anything.
Even though she didn't quite answer the question.
Okay?
Okay.
I think it might be a good idea if you went back home till you felt better, Jessica.
I couldn't do that, officer. What if I got the part and I wasn't there?
I'll just admit it. When I first heard those lines, I hated this girl. You got had in the worst way possible. Was told tough shit about it, then was almost killed.
Must be your lawyer.
But what if you got the part? Ah, fuck you, kid. Anyway, it's time for everybody's favorite video game activity. Trailing somebody. I'm gonna skip it.
Do my coffee faster next time, honey.
Stealth. The most realistic thing in games. Also, I like how this guy came to a diner just to smoke a cigarette.
You know what I want.
Uh-oh. It seems like she made a call to get some goons to teach Mark Bishop a lesson that she doesn't want him teached. I know that she most likely wants him killed, not roughed up, but making her seem like an idiot is funnier. Also, this guy doesn't talk. But she failed to realize that maybe I wanted to kill Mark Bishop, or at least rough him up a bit. So let's head over there and protect them, of course. Got ya! I just hate the whole I'm a corrupt cop joke with Cole Phelps. We arrive at the scene, kick the door down to see these criminal scums and need this justice beaten into them. Let's get it, boy. During that first shot, oh god damn, you don't understand, boy. I'm the world. Oh shit, my hat? Bro, no one touched the hat. You need to die for that one. Another one bites the dust. Oh, what the fuck, partner? You need to... Oh, I see he got moves. He's backing up. He's dodging? He's dodging? Well, dodge this wall, bitch. Whew. Never let it not be said that violence doesn't feel good. Well, Mark Bishop doesn't seem to be here. Only his wife. And while we have some questions for her, we're going to search the room first. We need to get those clues. We need to make them liars look more stupid than they already are. First things first, we gotta get our hat back. Now on to the search, where we find a check of $20,000 made out to a Lorna Hopgood, a saddle trophy thing, a photograph of a movie set, a replica of a movie set, and a picture of a prop store with Mark Bishop and Marlon Hopgood. Now we all know what comes next.
Those men, I think they work for Guy McAfee. Do you know the name?
No. Why should I?
June Ballard is married to Guy McAfee. Have you heard of her?
That slut. She's been badgering my husband for days.
Mrs. McAfee alleges that your husband tried to kill her and her friend last night. I think you should tell us what you know.
My husband's a movie producer. This has something to do with his new picture. He doesn't include me in his business.
June Ballard said she had a deal to be in his new picture.
Mark repeatedly told her no. He had Joan Leslie lined up for the role. That's how he got the finance. June made all kinds of threats. She was very rude to me.
You know June Ballard?
We were both on the same picture a few years back. That's how I met my husband.
Where can we find your husband, ma'am?
He told me he would be on set. That's all I know.
Either we find him or McAfee's people do, Mrs. Bishop. If you care for him, you should make sure that we find him first.
I do care for him, but I don't really know where he'd go if he were in trouble. Hopgood might know.
Why is your husband paying Lorna Hopgood $20,000?
Lorna? Marlon's ex-wife? Are you sure?
You're lying, Mrs. Bishop. It's some kind of payoff. You know exactly what the money is for and who it's getting paid to.
Do I? Would you like to prove that, detective?
Your husband looks like he's being blackmailed. They obviously have something on him if he's prepared to kill to cover it up. Why is the payment going to Hopgood and not McAfee?
Lorna works at a check-cashing place in Hollywood. You need to ask Hopgood why he needs that much money in cash.
Your husband was at a casting yesterday with a young girl?
Not that I know of. He told me he was looking at locations. The picture's been cast.
Jessica remembered a mermaid. The mermaid on the front of the prop store. You better come clean with me.
This is a sick town, detective. Are you sure you really want to know? The truth is, my husband likes them young.
And you think that's okay?
I was 16 when I first met him. I thought he was a genius, a magician with film. I was 20 before I realized he was just a B-movie hack. But he's nothing compared to some of the monsters at these big studios. My guess is Ballard sacrificed her little friend. Happens to a lot of girls.
Well, that went rather well, except for the part where she answered a question with a question and Cole's response is, "Why are you lying?" I don't know, it just always rubs me the wrong way. Anyway, time to use the phone so we can, Cole. Hey Cole, where are you going? Leaving? Oh, shit. We're actually going to be using the game well, I guess.
An aging movie star, a wannabe starlet, a movie producer's wife, finally rubbing shoulders with the almost rich and famous. And from the stories they've given us, clearly none of them can act.
Nope. Just forgot about the phone call. So watch me get confused here since I don't normally use the phone in this location. We arrive at the prop store with the mermaid I won't show just in case YouTube makes a boom boom, where we encounter Mullen Hopgood.
We're investigating the attempted murder of June Ballard and Jessica Hamilton.
Christ! I'm Marlon Hopgood. How can I help?
You hold castings here?
How'd you hear about that? I got a little soundstage out back.
Lead the way.
And that is how you take care of business. Cole didn't even bother fucking around with formalities. Just take me to your casting stage. Ah, the casting stage.
Keep him here, Stefan. I'm gonna take a look around.
What's this got to do with me?
Don't try my patience, knucklehead.
Let's look around. We find some delicious drugs labeled poison. So does it take away the pain or my life? And we find a poor camera trapped inside a wall, inside a mirror, inside a video game. With the casting stage searched and the new objectives of finding the peep den, we explore the prop store for more clues. We have this newspaper. Overdose deaths hits all-time high? With medicine labeled as poison? I never. Anyway, we find a shrunken head, confirming to Cole that this is indeed a real fake head. We kick this fake alleyway aside since we rolled high in our perception check and illusions don't work on us. And we kick this door because we just hate it. Inside the peep room, we discover a movie canister for Jungle Drums with its set location, and the casting tape canister of Jessica. Empty.
So what happened to the film?
With all the clues gathered, it's time we confronted Hopgood.
You ever do any work for Mark Bishop?
Mainly do work for the studios. RKO, Republic, Warner Brothers. So yeah, when Bishop was doing work for a studio, yes.
When did you last see him?
Now I'm doing work for his next picture. Still pre-production though. Haven't seen him around here in a while.
I know you're lying, Hopgood. Bishop was here and you know exactly what he was doing and what he left lying around afterwards.
You come in here without a warrant and now you start throwing your weight around?
A 15-year-old girl told me how she was drugged and molested at a casting house. I found the chloral hydrate in your drinks cabinet. You give me something or I will break your fucking jaw, Hopgood.
Bishop was here with June Ballard and the girl. A lot of producers and directors use this place. I'm not responsible for what goes on here.
McAfee's men are looking for Bishop. We need to find him first. Any idea where he might have gone to ground?
If he really tried to kill McAfee's wife, my advice to him would be to leave town.
You're delivering props to Jungle Drums on 8th Street?
Bishop is using that old rundown wreck of a set. That place is dangerous. But it might be a good spot to hide.
What's the deal with you and June Ballard?
Look, buddy, I make props. I hardly ever meet the talent unless it's something tailor-made for them, like a sword or something.
You and Ballard are blackmailing Bishop. That's why he cracked.
You got nothing on me. My hands are clean on this.
Enough! I've been in your peep room, Hopgood. I've seen your smut pictures and the camera setup. You made a movie of Jessica. I found the canister.
The deal is I get to sell the movies to burlesque houses and private collectors. These movie guys love seeing their cocks on screen, but part of the arrangement is I never film their faces. June had me film Bishop, and then she kept the movie for insurance. He went apeshit when he realized his face was front and center.
Who has the film now?
Who else? McAfee.
Ballard had what she wanted. Where does the money come into it?
What money?
Enough of the lies.
I told you, I get my cut selling dirty movies.
Your ex was getting 20 large from Bishop.
If I wanted to skim 20 from Bishop, we'd do it through the movie budget. June said she'd sell him the film once the movie had wrapped, but Guy wanted cash. He's in a cash-only business. You think I had a choice in this?
That's all for now, Hopgood. We're taking you in.
Phelps!
Ah, boo! Fuck you, Roy.
Hold on a moment.
Anyway, did you see how intense Cole got there? That part always makes me smile. Also, I see now why people hate it when you answer a question with a question.
So we just drop it?
You do if you know what's good for you. Movie producer before an angry husband.
Fuck you,
does
Roy.
What I'm.
Anyway, more people to confront us.
Stay out of this. This is a police matter. We will be bringing Mark Bishop into custody.
At least he's polite. Kinda dumb, but polite.
But I'm a lot less polite, you smug son of a bitch. So let me put it in ruder terms that even a pair of blockheads like you might understand. The only reason that you don't have bars on your windows already is because you're small fry. And we don't waste our time on small fry. You stay away from Bishop, and you stay away from me. Is that clear enough for you, asshole? Now run along back to your boss so we can pat you on the head and tell you what good boys you are.
Whoa, shit! A gunfight in my detective game? Two can play at that. Ah, shit! It's too intense! Need more firepower! Damn! The high ground really does win fights. Yeah, there you go, citizens. Clean that fucking gun up for me. On to the movie set.
Let's see him chase us now. On to the movie set, Phelps. Let's roll.
Oh, Christ. They say working traffic is like watching paint dry.
You know how to piss people off, man.
Hey, if they're prepared to gun down cops in broad daylight, McCaffrey really means business.
Seems like we're the only ones who want Bishop alive.
I have a good mind just to let him go work on the son of a bitch. I'm about done putting my life on the line to protect some child molester.
That's our job.
I just really wanted to let that play out, as it adds more to why I think Bukowski is the best partner. Now to the movie set.
There's the slippery bastard now.
No. God damn it!
Mark Bishop, stop! LAPD!
Get him, Phelps. I'll cover the exit.
11K calling KGPL, requesting assistance at 8 in Francisco, the abandoned movie set. My partner is pursuing suspect on foot. Code 3, KGPL.
We're trying to help you, Bishop. This is all a big mistake. kidnap these boys. Your choice. I didn't do anything. That's enough. Let's go, baby. All up. What the hell? Don't make it any harder on yourself. You Alan! He's blackmailing me.
Mark Bishop, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of June Ballard and the rape and attempted murder of Jessica Hamilton.
All right, I'll come quietly. Just don't kill me. If you found me, then McAfee's goons will too. Oh, we need to get out of here.
You slippery bastard. You led me right into another gunfight.
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist. There's no way out of it. And it's the electric chair.
Come on, it's this way. God, they're everywhere. Oh. Just got you there. Those barrels at the base of the elephant call.
Okay, that was a headshot. I know you've seen that.
I should have known that bitch was
And with that showdown concluded, so does the traffic desk. And while I'm not saying it's perfect, it sure is damn good. And now we can talk about the homicide desk.
Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide.
Burglary? There was an entire case we didn't get to play? Never mind. Well, anyway, new desk, new suit, new partner, and a new crime scene. Scouting around, we find some size 8 shoe prints, blunt force trauma to the right side of the victim's head, missing jewelry torn from the finger, as well as some writing on the body. A few feet from the body, we find the victim's handbag with some lipstick. And finally, we discover a minigame that gives us a Bomba Club lighter. What our only leads for being the Bomba Club, considering this guy
No way to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with.
didn't do what he was fucking told. At the Bomba Club, we conversed with this totally normal and completely innocent temp bartender, which leads us to McCall.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
You know him?
No. He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes, at around 11. If it helps, I made the guy's license plate.
You ought to meet Joe's buddy. He's nice. Really
doing?
I think this could be a great help, sir. Thank you. Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way back in her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're going to tell me.
Okay, I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
You know the husband?
Sure I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. Put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about that?
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up. Asked him to come pick her up like usual. But he refused. And she picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
With questions answered and clues gathered, I think we deserve a phone call.
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. I'll need to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please. Thank you.
With the car being looked for, we head out to the Henry's residence. Ah, brilliant! Nobody expects you to kick in the back door first. But there is no one here, and it's pretty clear that something happened.
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
Well then I'll guess we'll do that as well. And in doing so, we find a size 9 female shoe, a broken window due to forced entry, a note on the fridge from the victim's husband, and a ring case with no ring inside. Is that what it's called? A ring case? Oh, I don't care. We found everything that we need, so it's time we jump the world's smallest fence and trespass in someone else's yard. Before the creation of the uniform, how the fuck did anyone know who was a police officer?
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan! Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but...
Which is something a busybody would say.
And she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
Following the lead from the note on the fridge, we head out towards the apartment the husband is staying at. You got it, partner. Let's just kill him. That will show the son of a bitch. No time for that now, though. We got clues to find. There's a message previously written that seems to indicate harm, and also indicate that Cole has psychic abilities. Like, how did he know to do that? Some size 11 shoes in a suitcase, and that's it.
So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
You know where she went, Jacob. You're lying. Why would I help you if you keep lying to me?
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know.
We know she went to the Bomber Club.
The bartender there, He calls me if things are getting out of hand, and I go and I bring her home. He called me last night. I said no. Phone rang a couple more times after that. I ignored it. I'm gonna have to live with that.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
You don't remember what time you last saw your wife alive?
Look, I'm sorry. I left. Maybe 9 p.m. Might have been a little later, but right around 9.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, Big Mouth? Huh?
The note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
I just want to butt in here and say that he lied a total of about 66%. So I gotta beat him up. So we phoned the station to get a police car to pick up old Fighter. Receive a talk from the coroner about the death of the victim, a socket wrench being used as a weapon, and other things. Receive information about the owner of the car we are tracking, and finally get orders from our captain to bring all suspects in for questioning. Now, why did I say all that instead of allowing the gameplay to speak for me? Well, when I said that the coroner also mentioned other things, I am not sure whether or not YouTube is going to like those other things he mentioned. Anyway, fuck what the captain wants. Instead, we are going to go after the owner of the car we put an APB out on.
Alonzo.
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in.
Damn, boy is violent. And that's fun, so of course Cole obliges. Well, what I can find is some size 8 men's shoes, a gun, that's not evidence, but I like looking at it. Some used lipstick, and a bloody socket wrench, both in a cardboard box.
Hey, what gives?
LAPD, you're under arrest.
Huh, look at that. I guess he didn't know there were cops.
Son of a bitch! I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there! You don't need to do this, Alonzo!
Get in and drive. Hit it! Clean this asshole off the road. I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle and I'll stop the son of a bitch. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry. Put your hands in the air!
Anyway, We arrest the guy, proving that disobeying the captain is the right move to do sometimes. Closing the case, giving us those 5 stars, bitch. And this case is pretty good. While it doesn't have the twists and turns the first traffic case had, it is still a nice little murder mystery to solve, and that might actually be what's bad about it. I know that sounds completely fucking crazy, but the fact that this case is good while being part of the homicide desk does come back to bite it in the ass. And there is also the fact there is a little bit more to this case that I didn't show. And yes, of course I'll show it later. So follow along with me as we move on to the next case. And even closer to why I feel Homicide was such a big fucking disappointment. So, already, this murder is yet another female. But like Rusty said, let's not make assumptions. And let's also not waste any time and just get right to the crime scene. Under the pepper tree, we go to edit this video. Can't show dead naked people on YouTube. Examining the body first, we find some ligature marks caused by ropes, a finger that had a ring violently removed, footprints marked across the chest, though the pixels are a nice addition in the 4K version of the game. A mark on the wrist indicating missing jewelry. Done with the body, there is a handbag with the victim's name tag? With the evidence gathered, an officer reports to us that the victim's husband has filed a missing report. Bestowing his address, we have our first location to head out to. We arrive at the Mahler residence, and we already find that Hugo is not here and left his young daughter alone, which is totally legal. So we decide to ask a child if we can enter the home and search around, which I'm sure is also legal. Looking around, we find some size 8 work boots, an empty Elgin watch case, as well as an empty ring case, which you need to check both to get the evidence. And that's it. Sometimes one bedroom can tell you everything you need to know. Now we interrogate a little girl.
Is this about Mommy? Daddy is trying to find her. Please tell me she's okay.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Michelle, but...
She's dead! Gone forever! Died a horrible, painful death! Gone, 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 just like your dog!
My dog's dead?
I just ran him over with the car when I drove in! Everyone you love around you's dying!
Some of your mother's jewelry was missing. Can you describe her things?
A ring, a watch. I never paid much attention to that stuff.
I know it's painful, Michelle. But this may be important. She wore a wedding ring?
Mommy chose it herself. A rose gold wedding band and a matching diamond and ruby engagement ring.
She wore a watch?
Yes, the yellow gold Elgin watch. Daddy bought it for her birthday. We had a fight. It was kind of a makeup present.
When did you last see your mother?
Yesterday afternoon. I went to a dance at Belmont High. Mommy was supposed to pick me up, but she didn't show.
So what did you do then?
I was upset. Daddy came instead.
So you were hanging around the school for quite a while. What happened with your father?
I don't know. I called and called, and finally he answered. He came straight away then.
Your mom and dad are happily married?
What are you saying? Of course they are.
They weren't happy, were they, Michelle? Did your father ever hit your mother?
Just the once. She said she would leave him if he ever did it again. He bought her a brooch pin to make up for it. And he always wore her golden butterfly.
Thanks, Miss Muller. You've been very brave.
Hey! What gives?
Daddy, the police
Go to your
are
room,
here.
please, Michelle. I'll talk to the police.
Daddy, Mommy is gone.
Go to your room, young lady. She's not even out of school. You can't come in here interrogating her like she's some
Your wife
kind
was found murdered this morning.
Found? What the... But she only...
We have some questions that we would like to ask you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll do my best.
What size shoe do you wear, Mr. Mueller?
Why do you ask?
It's routine, sir. Simple process of elimination.
9s, I think.
Why are you lying to me, Mr. Mueller?
Why would I lie to you at a time like this?
That's funny. The work boots we found here are size 8s. Why lie about it if you've got nothing to hide?
Because I always get teased about the size of my feet. You know, small feet, small...
Always been true in my experience.
You phoned in a missing persons report this morning?
Yeah, that's right. My wife didn't come home last night. She left around 9:30. Michelle was out at dance. She called me to let me know that Deidre didn't turn up.
Did your wife ever go out by herself? To bars, nightclubs?
No. What are you suggesting? You suggesting my wife's loose? Now is not the time for you to be pushing me, mister.
Your daughter said you were having an argument.
We argued about who would pick up Michelle. I worked a full day. I wanted to come home, put my feet up.
So you were here all night? You stayed in while your wife went out to pick up your daughter?
Yes, that's correct.
You should come clean if you're having an affair, or if there's something going on.
I told you I was here. Were you saying I wasn't?
So why did you take so long to answer the phone when your daughter called?
Okay, I went out for a while. I was driving around. It's my way of relaxing.
Your wife was beaten and then strangled. In your case, you have no alibi and a history of violence towards your wife.
That's not true, God damn it.
It is true, Hugo. You're a violent man. You try to keep a lid on it at home, but sometimes you lost control. Your daughter and your wife were scared of you.
You don't know anything about me.
I know about the golden butterfly, Hugo, and how you bought your wife off the last time you heard her.
She liked to spend money, all right? Dresses, jewelry, her hair. It drove me goddamn crazy. Do I look like a Rockefeller?
Nobody likes a cheapskate, Hugo.
With that double interrogation completed, we are held down by a neighbor. We had to talk to a neighbor in the previous case, but I guess they called us, so that's a difference.
Help us with our...
Oh, my bad little Hugo boy cooking his daughter. Naughty, naughty.
Okay, but no shooting. We need this guy to make the case. Shoot the creep!
Chase over. I guess he didn't want to escape bad enough. We take him back to his yard and investigate the incinerator. Bloody size 8.
Doesn't look good, Hugo.
With all that taken care of, Rusty calls in uniforms to take care of the girl, and to also receive a message that the coroner has a report for us, while Phelps inquires an address for a Belmont High School. And with that, we can either follow up on the coroner's report or the high school. We choose to go ahead and pay a visit to the coroner. Ah, so he called us here to look at some rope, and to check a cast of a shoe print to update a clue. Even though the game doesn't even tell you this. Using his I got message census, we now have 2 reasons to check the high school.
Tell me about this man you've been having trouble with.
He hangs near the playground, tries to befriend the children. He was around here last night before the dance.
Is he violent?
Yes, sir, I would say so, yes. There's the son of a bitch now! Hey, you!
Go, Phelps. I'll take the car and see if I can cut him off.
Lock them up and throw away the key!
You know, this whole chase moment could have been avoided if a known child predator wasn't hanging around the high school in broad fucking daylight. With all that excitement behind us, we investigate the car. Bloody rope, bloody overalls, bloody tire iron. Interrogation setup, end of the road, with the station being our final destination. I'll also allow this exchange to play. I'll comment on it later.
I say we make Rooney famous. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Mueller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for me.
I don't know about this. My gut says Mueller. We caught him trying to destroy evidence in his backyard, and that was his car with the bloody tools in it.
I never said it wasn't his. Hell, he probably killed his wife, deprived that poor kid of a mother. But he's not an immediate danger to anyone else. Rooney's a threat to every kid that knows.
He's a peeper ruster. We can pick him up for something else.
Really want to run that risk?
And I do mean later. Alright, here we go.
Why did you burn your
I decided to interrogate Mahler first, then Rooney.
I knew you'd never believe me.
Believe what?
It's rabbit's blood. A guy at work brought him in and I helped him skin him.
Do you know anything about ropes, Hugo?
As much as the next man. I was a scout. I learned some more in the army.
You learned to strangle with the rope in the army?
With rope, with my bare hands, but mainly with wire. I learned a lot of things in the army, but I still didn't kill my wife.
For argument's sake, what type of rope would you use?
If I had to, I would use a triple braid. Less flex, easier to control.
We found your wife's car. Someone parked it at the school late last night. Do you have anything to say about that?
It wasn't me.
Where do you keep your work clothes?
I keep them at work in my locker.
Enough lies, Hugo. Your overalls put you at the scene of the crime last night.
My overalls are in the laundry of my house.
Green overalls, bloodstained, with the initials HM found in the trunk of your wife's car.
They can't be mine.
Why, Hugo? Because if they were yours, they'd be in the incinerator too?
You know, that's a good rusty line.
Your wife was beaten with a tire iron, Hugo. An appropriate choice of tool for a mechanic.
I know nothing about any tire iron.
You're lying, Hugo. You're gonna have to come clean on this.
You got no proof.
Your wife drove a Chevrolet, Hugo. What make of car do you drive?
A Chrysler Airflow.
So I guess that explains why the tire iron that killed your wife came from a Chrysler. What size boot do you wear, Eli?
Kind of like anything I can get my hands on. I'm wearing 11s.
You're maybe 5'5", 5'6" tops. And you wear size 11s? I don't think so, Eli.
That might be on the large side. Maybe 10s.
Maybe 8s.
Now that I come to think of it.
Why punish children with your iniquity, Eli?
You think I was never punished?
You must know what you're doing is evil.
Well, son, nobody's perfect.
You down on your luck, Eli?
No. I had worse. My family ate roadkill during the Dust Bowl.
But you have a job. A parolee has to have a job, correct?
I had me a job down in San Pedro. I'm looking for something new.
This place you worked have a name?
Hennessy Marine. You can't misplace big yellow letters HM out front.
They give you any workwear, Eli?
Sure. Green coverall. Dang thing was hot. Felt like I was back in the pen wearing it.
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any preference regarding rope, Eli?
I know a good rope from a bad rope, if that's what you mean. That's not what you mean, is it? Any old rope will do me fine.
Farm boy like you, Eli, must prefer McGay for roping. Am I right?
I prefer braid. Until I hitch and braid, it stays tied.
You killed Mrs. Muller and stole her jewelry.
That ain't so. I ain't done nothing like that.
You have no job and nowhere to live by the smell of things, and you need money. You've been in trouble before, Eli. Who do you think a jury will believe?
I've been in trouble for other things, but I ain't never killed no one. I saw that car coming to the parking lot late last night. Man got changed there and put his coveralls in the trunk. I saw him drop the butterfly in the lamplight and he strolled out, cool as you like. And I went over and I picked it up.
Well, we charge the pedo with murder, take him to his cell, slap him in the face for bonus points, skip this because I hate the captain, and get those 5 stars, boy. I didn't like this case as much as the first one, but that's for later. And I do mean next case. Okay, I'll start off by saying that I get a kick out of Rusty saying to forget all about his real name, considering I always forget his real name and just call him Rusty. Anyway, to the crime scene. Or to me examining the body cause YouTube. There are lacerations upon the neck, but that's not good enough for the game to be a clue. A finger that has skin peeled from the bone. Note to self, never wear rings. A torn half of a library card. Body writing.
Blood. The evidence in the Mueller case was solid. I'm not convinced about Mendez.
I won't let this whole conversation play out, but I want you to take note on what Cole said. Anyway, now we can start looking around the crime scene. First, we have a bloody stocking found next to the body. There is also a blood trail, and we gotta follow it. Stop 1, a bloody woman's hat. The name, Antonia, written on the inner band. Stop 2, a lady's shoe in the trash with blood on it. Stop 3, a number 5 key on some string. Stop 4, a piece of paper with some dots on it. Stop 5, an empty envelope that I don't know whether or not I should include it since it doesn't count as a clue. This case just begun and that's 2 things already that doesn't count as a clue. Oh well. Stop 6, gold-plated makeup set. Not a clue, move on. Stop 7, 9:30 walk. What? Stop 7, 9:30 walk. I don't fucking know what that means. A ring that was pulled from a finger, but I don't see any skin, so it must be from another woman. Also, the ring wasn't considered a clue. That's only annoying me since if it's not a clue, I can't use it in the case. Stop 8, a bloody paintbrush, which takes me too long to find the zoom spot. And finally, the victim's purse, which we know that it is, since it holds the other half of the torn library card, which gives us the address of our victim and our first location to follow up on, which is a boarding house. Alright, we have our room, let's go. First we have an envelope that actually contains some court documents. We also have a wedding photo showing a bracelet that wasn't on the body or in the crime scene. There is a broken window, and we can also see an on bar on the porch outside, which Cole will go outside automatically, so might as well take a closer look at it. All we needed was a quick search, and now we can begin to question the owner of the boarding house.
Do you have any idea who might have wanted to hurt Mrs. Maldonado?
That rat of her husband, Angel. She was serving him divorce papers.
If I killed every wife to serve me papers, I'd be a mass murderer.
Are you being flippant, young man?
No, ma'am.
I like that moment.
can you
It's
tell us
about
about
time
Angel
someone put
Maldonado?
Rusty in his place with all his sexist
Married
remarks.
him when she was 17.
I know it's the fucking 40s and whatever, but it's still
Very
annoying.
cruel. She was a good girl. Little on the religious side, but a good girl.
What time did Antonia go out yesterday?
She left around 9.
Do you know where she went?
No, I've no idea. She was a good girl, but she didn't confide in me.
A nosy old hag like you knows everything about the people who live under her roof. Where did she go?
I think she went to a bar. She's been drinking quite a lot lately.
This bar have a name?
El Dorado Bar. It's a Latino place on North Los Angeles Street.
That's only a couple of blocks from where we found the body.
You've had a break-in?
No! That can't be true.
You're being economical with the truth, Mrs. Lepenti. What do you have to hide?
I have no idea what you are talking about.
So Antonia lost her keys and used an iron bar to jimmy the back window?
I heard a noise in the early hours of the morning. I thought it might be a raccoon at the milk bottles. It'd be very bad for business if this news got out. I have a reputation to protect.
Antonia and her husband were estranged?
Yes. She moved here after she separated from her husband 2 months ago.
But Antonia still wore a wedding ring?
She wore the wedding ring and a necklace. She always wore a religious necklace. That's about all of her jewelry.
What about her bracelet?
I don't know anything about a bracelet.
In her wedding photo, she's displaying a charm bracelet.
That thing? She never wore it. He gave it to her. She always kept it in that wooden jewelry box.
I didn't want to interrupt the conversation, but I will say, unlike Rusty, I didn't like it when Cole called her a nosy old hag, since to me, that doesn't feel like something Cole would have done. We all have fun with asshole Cole every now and then, but it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, she's being like, it's her boarding house, like she has every right to be fucking nosy or, you know, want to know what the hell's going on. It's dawning on me now that all I'm saying now would have fit better during the final section, as it could ruin the flow of the video. So I guess let's move on to the address of the victim's husband. After arriving at the motel, I don't know the difference. We walk up some stairs, and Rusty, of course, gets violent. I can't explain it, but the combat is kind of funny sometimes.
You think I could kill my own wife?
You guys did immediately get violent against cops, so yeah, I think you would, based on first impressions. Well, with all that punching out of our systems, time to look around for clues. We find a crate of wine from a fruit market, a matchbook for an El Dorado bar. Did I say that weird? And we have a bloodied shirt. But the way these guys are quick to fight, it could have been anyone's blood, honestly. With the searching done, it's time for us to speak to the neighbors. And fun fact, the person you need to talk to won't appear unless you go to every other door first. How fun.
What do you want?
LAPD. We're making some inquiries.
Make it quick. I work nights.
So you weren't home last night?
No, I was at work.
You know nothing about Mrs. Maldonado fighting with her husband?
Those two? They're always screaming the place down.
Thanks.
One down.
No good. Nobody here.
2 down.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm playing with my kids.
LAPD. Were you here last night?
Yeah. My wife and I are separated, and I had the kids last night. I put them to bed early and went to bed myself.
Thanks.
Okay, I gotta talk about this shit. Who the hell opens a door like this cause they're playing with their kids? Imagine knocking on someone's door and a naked man rushes out and starts grabbing on you and he's like, oh, sorry, I was fucking your mother.
Did you hear the
Most
disturbance
people
last
go,
night?
hold on, or just a moment. They don't hear knocking and go, oh shit, it's playtime. He also doesn't take the mask off. 3 down, and now the final neighbor.
Did you see Mr. Maldonado come back inside after he ran out?
No. I didn't.
Thanks. We'll be in touch.
I'm not going to lie, I want to rant about this woman, but I just let loose a little bit about a man playing with children. So I won't. It looks like it's time to head to the El Dorado bar. We receive a message to head to the station instead. At least the station is going to be quick. Just checking out some notes and papers, taunting the police. Is it weird that when rewatching this, the first thing that went through my head was, why do we have eyebrows? Why does hair have to grow there? And no, I don't want or need an answer. I just thought someone would be slightly amused by me having that dumb thought. Well, anyway, we have a message that was from a previous case and a poem. And I really hope you like poems. And with that taken care of, we might as well interrogate Angel since we're already here.
So your wife paid you a visit last night. What time was that?
Late, around midnight, maybe. She didn't stay long.
You're lying, Angel. You went after her. I think you killed her.
You're out of your mind. My brother will tell you I was at home.
We have a witness who confirms that you were arguing, that your wife ran out, that you followed her and didn't come back.
I know this looks bad, but it's not true. We argued, all right, but she went out and I went out after her and she jumped in a car on the corner.
There was a car waiting for her? Can you describe the driver?
Not the driver. It was too dark. But the car, it was a brown Ford Coupe.
You and your wife weren't getting along. She was divorcing you. Is that why you killed her?
We fought, yeah, but we weren't getting a divorce.
I don't believe you, Angel. She'd been granted a decree nisi. She pushed you too far and you lashed out.
I told you, I wouldn't accept a divorce.
The judge had set a date. You were going to be paraded in front of the whole city for your cruelty to her, Angel.
Antonia. Oh, Jesus. She came in drunk, out of her mind. She doesn't normally drink. She was looking around in her bag. Said she wanted to serve me papers. Me, her own husband. So I slapped her down. She ran out. That's the truth.
What size shoe do you wear, Angel?
Size 8. What difference does that make?
When we found your wife, her jewelry had been removed. Was she wearing her religious medallion last night?
Sure. She always wore that.
What about the charm bracelet? Was she wearing that?
You know about that? She never wore it. She didn't like the message. She kept it locked up in that box of hers.
Your wife has been brutally murdered. So how do you explain your shirt being covered in blood?
You found that? I cut myself shaving.
Angel, I'm not going to waste any more time on this. Give me something or I'm going to have you charged.
My brother, Hippolyta, he said some bad things about Antonia last night. So I had to sock him one. We got into it.
Keep talking.
She said she came from the El Dorado bar.
And?
It's not one of my places. We used to buy fruit at the market down the street. But the creep there was always running his eyes all over my wife.
What's the name of this fruit market?
Just picked fruit. Ord Street downtown.
I know I said I have a section for it, but man, I can't contain myself.
No.
But this guy's responses really pissed me off.
You're not in the clear
So,
by any means, Angel.
your wife had a bracelet?
Back into a
You
cell.
found out about that?
Think about whether you
There
have
was a
anything
bloody
else you
shirt
need
in
to
your
share with us.
apartment. You found out about that? Yeah, of course we found it. It was hanging on the wall, you fucking dingus. Alright, as soon as the 2 was all I need, let's move on and head out to the bar.
Yeah, me and a temp guy from the agency.
Did you have a woman
Remember
here
that
last
line.
night? 21. Can you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
She had a necklace. Some kind of religious thing, I think. The temp guy would have more of an idea. She took the beer he served her and cried into it all night.
What time did she leave?
Can't say for sure.
Where did she go? Give me something or the LAPD will start getting interested in this place.
Take it easy. She wanted a cab, okay? And my phone was out of order. The closest one I knew was at the fruit market across the street, so I suggested she try there. She seemed reluctant.
Did Antonia say where she was going when she left?
She said she was going to serve the papers on the husband. Said that would take the smile off his face. If you ask me, she was scared. And the drink was for Dutch courage.
She attract any interest?
An extremely drunk young woman? What do you think? She managed to scare them off, though.
Thanks.
So the victim was so out of it, she just left her divorce papers at the bar. I also like how the envelope says Angel by hand. With our quick stop at the bar done and dusted, we go across the street to the fruit market.
She was wearing a necklace?
I didn't notice.
You weren't paying attention, Feeney?
Hey, you're getting the wrong idea.
Exactly how much fruit do you sell here after midnight, Clem?
Look, not much. I sell the odd bottle on the side to the after-hours crowd. Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to make a buck.
The young lady arrived around midnight?
Yeah, something like that. Used the phone for a cab and then left.
You already knew Mrs. Maldonado, didn't you, Clem?
Sure, I met her before. She seemed like a nice lady. Her husband went apeshit one day when he caught me talking to her. She hadn't been back until last night.
Where did she go from here?
She wanted a cab, but I couldn't get her one. I was about to offer to drive her, but a car pulled up and she got into that.
Can you describe the car?
Brown Ford Coupe, I think. She seemed to know the guy.
With our questioning of the owner out of the way, we basically bully our way into searching the place. We check around the open room where we find a bloody scalpel. We also find a box that requires a combination.
This thing needs
the
a
box
combination.
is also placed upon what looks like some sheets with bloodstains on it. Opening the box, we find the victim's religious jewelry. We also get another good rusty line.
This fruit stall punk gets about 10 seconds to explain before I pull his fucking arms off.
Clem!
The chase begins.
God damn it, get after him, Cole! I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Hit it! Clean this asshole off the road. Should have grabbed him when we had the chance, Phelps.
When we had the chance, we didn't know he was our guy.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
Strange that he'd leave a trail of blood right back to his own market.
Maybe he wanted to be caught. A lot of them do. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Well, arrest him and call it a day. I don't give a fuck about what the captain says. 5 stars. It's pretty clear that I have issues with this case, so obviously we could just move on. Alright, we got our case. Let's just skip on over to the crime scene. And this time, the body is actually closed. So no more crazy close-ups to hide things. Anywho, let's get right into checking the body. Where we find a dry cleaning label. After a little head manipulation. And that's all we need with that. So now we simply comb around and find levitating footprints. And the only tire tracks within a mile. With that small investigation done, we go to call in to get the address for the laundromat. But we are interrupted by a patrol car with a witness for us.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you.
Well, now that she's finished judging people based on living conditions they may or may not have control over, let's get that address for the laundromat. And to find out where homeless people live. You know,
Phelps, badge
there's a fucking joke there. You get it? You see, it's funny because they don't live anywhere because they're homeless. You just made fun of somebody for being mean to homeless people, and now you're being mean to homeless people. Well, anyway, the woman could be right, for all you know, so he could be a criminal. But the first location we're following up on is the laundromat. The laundromat. This is going to be quick. We walk into said laundromat, ask the worker/owner for help in the case, get told they're too busy and do it ourselves. We do, and now we know the victim's name, as well as another address to follow up on. He didn't even touch that fucking door. Anyway, your wife's dead. Now we're going to take a look around. Following procedure, we find a matchbook for a Baron's bar. The rare one that actually has the address on the inside. Move, Rusty! We find the victim's purse, her driver's license inside. Oh, and some lipstick. A wet jacket and muddy boots. And they're size 8s. Now we head outside, obviously, where we find some rope on a boat. Okay, questioning time.
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Now, interrogation time.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
I think you're lying, Lars. I think you were mad at your wife for embarrassing you in front of your friends. I think you came back here and strangled her and then dumped her body on the hill.
You think I strangled my wife? How do you expect to prove that?
Your wife was strangled with triple braid rope. The bow line from your boat is a perfect match.
Look, I know this looks bad. I'm gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I let her go.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right, Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. Bar down on North Bondi Avenue. Baron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Mr. Terrellson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
Spill it, Terrellson. We like the look of you for this, so you better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. Paid the sitter and went to bed.
You're lying, Lars. You didn't come straight home, did you?
And how do you figure that?
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We found your wet weather gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened. I walked back and got the car this morning.
That's all wrapped up. Let's head out to the bar. Get our partner a drink and some answers for Cole.
What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
The likelihood is that whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Betty.
All right, 2 creeps were all over her.
I like Teresa, so I didn't watch the 2 guys all over her. Oh, and just in case you don't understand why I'm pointing this out, if he actually liked Teresa, then when we mentioned a hobo, he would have said, oh, there was no hobos, but there was 2 creeps. Like, why didn't he just outright say that shit if he actually fucking liked her?
Sure, I got a good look. One of them was a sailor, in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
And she always wants to dance when she's been drinking. She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey,
don't make
Anyway, let's chase this guy.
Can't let the son of a bitch get away.
Bates! We just want to talk.
Come on, got a ride. Get in and drive. I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands. I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the victim.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, that stimulus for routine. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
Yeah, Cole, don't fall asleep after killing that pedestrian.
Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out.
All right, you got me. I've had enough.
Give it up, LAPD! Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead, and your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
After almost killing 2 people, we can finally put an APB on the cab that the victim was last seen in. Okay, listen up. This is very important. Go to the cab. If you do not immediately track the cab down after this moment on the PC version of the game, the cab will literally never spawn. And yes, I know they put a forced location spot for the cab when this happens, but it should have never fucking happened. And no, this is a game issue, not a homicide issue.
LAPD, we're investigating a murder.
What's that got to do with me?
The fare you picked up from Barron's bar last night. What was the woman wearing?
It's a green dress. Oh, don't tell me something's happened to her.
Tell me about her.
She was with this sailor, and he was all over her. She wasn't having any of it. Said she just wanted to dance.
but he had that look in his eye.
Where did you drop them off?
It's at the Crystal Ballroom.
What time?
After midnight. 12:30? Something like that.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
Let's head out to the station and have a chat with that sailor.
You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrelson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
So you tried to make a woman who was incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a cab to the Crystal Ballroom.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrelson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back in the tub. He had all the time in the world to look for some action. I belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup. Where did you go after the Crystal Ballroom?
I think the wind had gone out of her sails by then. She caught a cab and I caught a bus back to the base.
We spoke to the cab driver. Tell us what really happened at the Crystal Ballroom.
I'd had enough. She was all upset about her husband bawling about her kids. She looked old. I left around closing, maybe 1:30. I got on a bus and she fell asleep on my shoulder.
Which bus?
An All-American, 249. I went past her place. She jumped off and I stayed on it downtown. After that, I caught another bus to San Pedro. The Indiana's down there. She's being scrapped.
And that was the last you saw of Teresa?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't say much. I think she was kind of embarrassed.
The cab driver said that you were getting pretty familiar with Teresa.
It's not how I'd put it.
So the last thing you wanted was her playing hard to get. Did that make you mad, sailor?
Yeah, it did. She knew what a guy's looking for. All broads do. Dancing comes second.
And what happened at the Crystal Ballroom?
Nothing. Not even a little hand relief. She had another couple of drinks. There was no fun left in her. Just poured her guts out to some bartender.
We're holding you till we can clear this with the driver.
Yeah, my CO said as much.
Well, you heard Cole. Let's check that bus depot.
Hey, there's such a thing as soap, you know?
We'll need to run the loop.
The early bird gets the worm.
You want the 5-star goddamn wedding?
Gets the cheap.
We're not going to drive the whole thing, are we?
Won't take long. We have a siren.
And I have the power of editing.
LAPD, we're investigating a murder. You had a sailor and a woman in a green dress on your bus late last night?
That's correct.
And the woman got off first, around 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right. And the sailor stayed on all the way to downtown.
Can you tell us where you let the woman off?
On California Street. To tell you the truth, she looked a little lost, like she got off on the wrong stop or something. I didn't like dropping her off near that hobo camp.
Well, we can't avoid it. Looks like we have to beat up some homeless people and get canceled.
Disciples know what you did last night?
The ultimate fighting style of mash and attack has failed me. The ultimate fighting style of punching slower is broken. We take a quick look inside the Hobo King's shack. We have a tiny green purse with tickets to a ballroom and a piece of blood-stained rope. Now we return to the police station and wrap this up.
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrelson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
Are you denying that you strangled Mrs. Terrelson with a length of rope?
I'm not denying anything. You have to have proof, lackey.
We found a matching piece of rope in your lean-to. I think we'll find the blood will match too.
I own no property. How could it belong to me?
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrelson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Witch Hill. I have many places. I go where I please.
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Where were you around 2 a.m. last night?
At the camp.
You were up on the hill. You were seen during the day. We have a witness. We have evidence. Come clean with me, Ackerman, and I'll see what I can do for you.
I despise your pity. You have nothing that links me to this woman.
We have you cold, Ackerman. Her purse and the ballroom ticket were in your lean-to. Tell us why you did it.
I kill because people need killing. It's what I was trained to do.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
There is also a console exclusive question, I'm dead serious, where he answers that he only wants to mate with women and wishes they were dead. This is also the only time we see 2 people accused of murder in this jail cutscene. 5 stars. Also, the game windowed itself here, and I was afraid I lost my recording. 2 cases left. Okay, quick break. Okay, I gotta say something. Okay. Try, it might be worth it. The way I work on videos, okay, I edit it based on sections, right? Like, I have an intro, a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. Like, when I edit it, I don't, edit the entire, video on one thing, right? I'll splice it up. Because most of my things are game-related, right? And one clip will be, hours long, right? And that one clip that's hours long could have footage just for the fucking intro. So in my opinion, I'll do the intro, and the intro could be 5 minutes, right? So hours of footage to 5 minutes. So I'll do that, save the project, everything's all good, then I can delete the actual raw recording, and that saves up space. That works for me, right? And that's currently what I'm doing, right? With this, I'm preemptively going through, right? And I'm starting the project, I'm recording my voiceover, right? Then I'm saving it, moving on to each part, right? Then I can go back through, edit the clips together, and all that shit I need to do. And then, bam, 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 piece them together. That's a whole video, right? So, as I said, right now, I'm going through, part 5, record the narration, that's it, save it. I was like, okay, that's that section, that's that section, that's that section, right? I'm preparing them, I guess you could say, right? There's a term I'm looking for, but I'm blanking on it, but anyway, you get it, right? And the entire time I'm doing this shit has just been constantly looping in my fucking head. Just thought you wanted to know that for some reason. Okay, as of this moment in the video, I can't think of anything to add here, so let's just get on with the case and head to the pawnbroker. Which is the first and only time we visit a place other than the crime scene in Homicide. So that's something. Anyway, we look at some rings pawned by a fake person with a fake address using a poet's name. Also, let's all make fun of Cole for not knowing what 22K means. Just kidding. Here we are, the crime scene, where we belong. Every time a crime is called in by a person of color, it's always this officer.
I look after all the
that just stood out to me. Has nothing to do with the cases in any way.
Called it in.
Anyway, let's talk to the coroner.
White
A dead body. Let the clue gathering begin.
Lipstick smudges on the face.
First thing, sniff the body. Very important.
Very good.
Another missing ring. Next to the train car, we have a purse with half a torn letter inside. And some ID paper for a closed down film studio. Next we have a Minch's bar match book with the address written inside. No way. And some sort of shopping list. Now let's have a chat to the guy who found the body.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no law against it.
Like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him. You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
Answers gotten, clues obtained, and a pervert punched. Things are heading our way so far. The last thing left is to get the address to a liquor store. Very important, as that's where we are headed to first. Seems like the victim had a little hideout here for us to check out. We have a bowling pin that was clearly stolen, and a book on metaphysics that belonged to a McCaffrey guy that was clearly stolen. I mean, let's see where this mystery takes us. Alright, we know what's next. Let's ask those questions.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it. But she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem.
Next stop, the bar.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
What a small world, after all. Stop!
I'm just a starving writer.
Who the fuck nowadays even knows that song? Not that it's considered one of Disney's most awful and annoying songs, but who has actually heard the song?
Okay.
Back to the game.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
Do you want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights, that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
You say you barely knew Evelyn?
Yes, that is correct.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You looked down your nose at Evelyn, but you knew her, and you have some idea of what happened.
I hope you're holding aces. I'm telling you again, I barely knew the woman.
Why would you lend her your book on metaphysics if you only knew her in passing? It was more than that. A Renaissance man like yourself, lending his books to his acolytes.
She hounded me about that goddamn book, and then she lifts it from my apartment and lies to my face that she didn't take it, as if she could even comprehend any of it. I saw her go into a hotel with Tiernan last night. They had booze in a paper bag. He's your man.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
Car 11K, car 11K, KGPL.
What's your nearest 11 King.
US Army recruiting station? A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central. Go to
11 King, en route.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
You don't fucking say. After being told the same shit, the murders are connected, we ring up the address for McCaffrey and head there right away. Kick open his apartment door and begin looking around. I can see he has the bottom half of that torn letter. We also have a bloody arm next to blood-stained clothes.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
After our third neighbor interaction in the homicide desk, we head up to the roof to confront McCaffrey. Well, he's running. What every innocent person does.
down and we'll pause a little bit. We'll get our wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Be careful! He looks dangerous!
McCaffrey, you're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
Now that we have the culprit, I mean suspect, I say we follow up on that bowling alley lead and capture the second suspect. Well, we already know what's about to happen.
LAPD!
Oh, he's running. Like an innocent person, who would have thought?
There!
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Another runner. At least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means. Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves himself trouble. Hit him! Clean this asshole off the road! That's the end of that! About fucking time!
The reason I don't end these car chases faster is because when Rusty shoots the tires, there's a chance the car just flips and bounces like crazy, and it's amusing.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up.
Right, you heard the boys. We have our two suspects. Let's head downtown and wrap it up. And this crime was definitely not the Dahlia killer. Since the evidence seems to stag more on him, let's question McCaffrey first.
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home.
Well, I'm done. Thanks for watching, have a good life, and because there is so little evidence, let's question Tiernan first.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
Oh my god, hold up. He barely knew Evelyn, then responded that they were friends.
McCaffrey gave you up, Tiernan. He says he saw you go into your hotel with Evelyn.
I met Evelyn at the public library. We would read for a while and then go for a drink. Last night we went back to my hotel room and had some more to drink. I must have passed out. I woke up and she was gone.
What time was this?
Around midnight, maybe later.
And there's no one who can confirm this?
No, there isn't. I knew you wouldn't believe me.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute. But, you know, I'm not so sure.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left! That was it!
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
Well, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. A big black circular disc with a white E in the middle.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
I don't believe you, Grosvenor. The evidence says that you killed her.
You can prove that I wanted to kill
Tiernan is prepared to testify that you threatened Evelyn's life in his presence.
Self-preservation. That's understandable. Okay, I'll level with you. Tiernan killed Evelyn. He came to me for help. I listened to him, and he explained why he did it.
Tiernan went to you for help. You expect me to buy that?
That's how it went down. I told him he made a terrible mistake, but he would be throwing his life away if he went to the cops. I took his things and told him I would dispose of them.
But you didn't.
Speak to Tiernan. He'll give it up.
Nice of Cole to finally look up McCaffrey's criminal record.
You spoken to McCaffrey? I can go, it's all been cleared up?
Not quite. We have one more question we need to ask, James. Then I think we will be done.
Sure. Go ahead.
So Evelyn passed out, and you walked out. What happened next?
I woke up in the morning, very hungover. I thought Evelyn would have come back.
I know you're lying, James. You went out looking for her. Tell me what really happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say I wasn't in that hotel room?
You wound up at McCaffrey's. You were still incredibly drunk. You passed out on his floor. It's time to tell me what really happened.
McCaffrey woke me up the next morning, and he showed me the lug wrench and the letter and the box, and he said I came in with him last night. He said that I killed Evelyn, and that it was all over the radio, and that he would protect me. And I don't know, detective, for the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing. And I was angry with her. Really angry. I could have done it. Was it me?
What you just witnessed is hands down probably the best performance in this game.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw. It changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore! She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country! I could have...
You beat her because she stole from you, because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch! What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her!
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
We're almost done, so I decided to let the captain talk. I also didn't apparently write another fucking 5 stars joke here.
I want you to put this business.
But I just said one, so I guess there, another one.
This McCaffrey creature.
Moving on.
Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline like the previous letters, so I can't lift a print.
No one else but the killer knew about this message.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my staff.
suffer woes which hope thinks infinite, to forgive wrongs darker than death or night. Another snippet from the Shelley poem. If the note is from the Dahlia maniac, he definitely also killed Teresa Terrell.
Mal and I agree.
But where does that leave us? If this is the Dahlia killer, and he is responsible for the Tarrelson murder, not to mention the Muller
Hang
case.
on a moment, Skipper.
Let me finish, Rusty. We have 5 birds in hand and none in the bush. The department will not survive a scandal if we have to let them all go without catching a fiend first. Your careers will be over for a start, gentlemen.
Looking in wonder.
Ah, fuck it. I knew this run was too good to be true.
I hid myself within a fountain in the public square.
You like that stuff? What is it supposed to mean?
It's supposed to... Forget what it's supposed to... What does he want it
Where
to...
are you going with this, Cole?
He's obviously taunting us. He believes he's far more intelligent than we are.
Okay, it's some kind of story, right? A guy that God hates, chains him up.
It's an allegory, Rusty.
A what? Story with 2 meanings. A symbolic meaning. But that's what he wants us to think.
Could he be using it literally? Within a fountain in a public square? Could it be that easy?
Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on?
The fountain in Pershing Square. Come on, we have a clue. Captain?
Well, alright.
Be careful, Phelps.
This is it.
This is his game you're
The final homicide case. Okay, on to Pershing Square. We find another excerpt and a social security card. Now it's time to use some real-life deduction skills. The game isn't holding your hand anymore. So let's see. There is a cave, all overgrown with trailing odorous plants, which curtain out the day with leaves and flowers, and paved with vein emeralds, and a fountain leaps in the midst with an awakening sound. From its curved roof, the mountain, frozen tears like snow, are silver, are long diamond spires, hang downward, raining forth doubtful light. Ah, depicts a mountain cave overgrown with plants and wildflowers.
Can I help you, sir?
Detectives, LAPD. This is very important, sir. How do we get to the top of the chandelier?
You what?
Have a little faith, pal. We're in a real hurry.
Head up to the top floor. There's an access panel and a ladder in the maintenance room.
Let's go.
I'm going out there, Rusty.
I almost fell twice for dramatic effect, and not because tie ropes are wonky in this game. Anyway, we find a watch, I'm assuming the Elgin one, and another stanza, as Cole called it,
Temples high of man's ear
from the
and eye,
murmurings
moved over
of the
sculptures
unsealed
and
springs,
poesy.
where science
Where have I seen
bedews his Daedic wings. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to pay for this, man.
Hold it off that goddamn thing. Find the rope, Rusty. It's time. See if you can swing that thing from side to side. Get it over the edge, then jump for it. Wait. Come on. Gonna go any second. Put that goddamn thing and jump for it.
It's time to deduce. Let's see. Oh, wait. Creates his high temple roofed over a mosaic pyramid representing the scientific. We have our location.
I'm pulling rank here, Cole. I'm not hauling myself up there. Go get him, Tiger.
You'd slow me down anyway, old-timer. Sometimes a step backwards is a step in the right direction.
Alright, let's see here. We seem to have a religious medallion and a scrap, as Cole puts it, of another poem. The wrecks beside of many a city vast whose population which the earth grew over was mortal, but not human see they lie, their monstrous work, and uncouth skeletons, their status, homes, and fanes, prodigious shapes, huddled in the grey annihilation, split, jammed in the hard black deep. Population which the earth grew over, mortal but not human, monstrous, skeletons jammed in the black deep. I think we have it.
These are my best shoes, Phelps. I'll leave you to it.
Very funny.
Whoa! Get a move on, Cole. Those boards are sinking. You want to end up like the other fossils? Gangway stakes around, Phelps. Can you see it through the tar?
Easy.
How you doing out there?
I'd be doing better if you were the one trying to get across this thing.
Good job, game.
Whoa! You don't want to fall in now, Phelps.
It's at the forefront of my thinking.
Well, we got through, and there seems to be a white shoe and more excerpts for us to figure out.
Which is as many thousand spheres.
Also, nice boat. Just a nice fucking boat. Clearly, we just needed to walk upon sinking boards. Wonders such as sphere within a sphere. That one was easy.
You ever been in here, Gallo?
No. I have no intention of going in. I heard that thing's tricky.
Oh, okay, it's tricky. Let's mentally prepare for this shit.
About hidden meetings.
Let's go. Oh, there we are, buddy. We conquered the tricky. What have we got? A garnet ring, and best of all, another poem snippet. And besides which, by wretched men were born scepters, tiaras, swords, and chains, and tomes of reasoned wrong, glozed on by ignorance, were like those monstrous and barbaric shapes, the ghosts of a no more remembered fame, which from their unworn obelisk look forth.
See? That was easy.
I found Celine Henry's ring.
How far does this thing go? How did we not catch this nut job?
Well, maybe you and the captain should have stopped telling us to arrest their fucking husbands. Deciphering time. The only link here I was able to pick up on was that Cole made a comment indicating that he knew the place. And the only map location we've been to was the Intolerance set. Maybe the poem is hinting at something medieval as well, but the Cole line was how I solved it.
Jesus, now look what you did! Hang on, Cole, I'll get you off of there! Gotta make it to the next platform. Get that thing as close as you can, then jump.
Anyway, after being held up by gameplay, we move along and locate a typewriter ring and the next excerpt. Holy shit, this one is a lot. Remit the unhuish of that. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
No! Come on!
No! Okay, since this one is so long, I'll bullet point it. So thy sick throes shake not that crucifix. Thy name I will not speak. It hath become a curse. Now, I'll put a break on this moment and ask, out of the 3 lines I spoke, what do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to mind? If you notice all the thighs and hats, and most importantly, the crucifix, you might come to the conclusion that this sounds religious. To the church!
Nothing hasty, gentlemen. Keep your hands where I can see them, or I'll be forced to redecorate the stucco with your entrails.
We're from the LAPD, sir. I'm gonna tell you only once to lower your weapon.
The LAPD, you say? Is it really possible you could have found me after all this time? How interesting.
Put down the gun, shitbird. Last warning.
This boorish ignoramus could never have found me. It was you, wasn't it? Do you remember me, detective?
The temp bartender.
Yes, you found me. You know what I'm capable of, and yet you walk in here like lambs dressed for the slaughter.
We'll see about that. Where did he go?
Down the tunnel?
Can't let the son of a bitch get away.
The house, Rusty. There must be another entrance into the house.
Just a quick test to see if I remembered how to change the shoulder camera for combat.
LAPD, give yourself up.
Going down there.
I'll go. Call for backup and keep an eye out above ground and see where this thing comes out. Don't let me down, Rusty.
You're an interesting man, detective. Why the police? You're obviously overqualified.
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
Do I get a sense you're looking for personal redemption? Do you think we have to...
Surrender now or I will use deadly force.
Are you acquainted with slaughter?
This thing has come to an end. You know that.
Are you comfortable out of the light, officer?
You're exactly what I expected. We were looking for a low achiever.
You want to tell me how the fuck those weren't headshots? Well, you can kill him in the tunnels, but I guess I failed. Fucking game.
Cease and desist.
Well, he's dead. Well, I guess it's time. You know, it's weird. Back when I first ever played LA Noire on the 360,
Where's the press?
I walked away from this conclusion, of this case, feeling disappointed.
The case of the century.
And now, years later, in a video,
Yes, Skipper. Good.
I get to talk about it.
Because the
Alright, this is it. It's time to really go into the nitty gritty. What I'm going to do is explain myself in 3 sections. I'm going to start off by saying why I think traffic is a better case, and explain why I even talked about it, when I could have just made this entire video all about the homicide desk. Which will lead into the second part, in which I will explain the one thing that in my opinion ruined the homicide desk, and why I feel that if they didn't do that, I would have liked the desk a lot better, considering that traffic is also not completely perfect, and it too probably has its own flaws. And then the last third part is going to be talking about all the little things that do add up. The little things that are hard for me to ignore considering what they went with for the homicide desk. I feel like I'll explain myself a lot better when I start talking about it. I know I'm setting down a lot of rules and variables for myself in this video, and that may come across as annoying, but I know this game is loved, and I don't want people walking away thinking I just hate this case, this desk, for no reason. And if there is anything my Silent Hill 2 video has taught me, is that no matter what, I will do my best to get the viewers to understand why I say the things I say. And if it gets hate, then fine, as long as they don't hate it for the wrong reasons. Part 1. Why I think the traffic desk is the best desk in LA Noire. I just do. Deal with it. Part 2. I'm fucking around. I'm making jokes here. Complaining aside, I still want this video to entertain you, okay? But let's actually wrap this shit up now. Part 1. Why I think the traffic desk is the best desk in LA Noire. If I had to boil it down to a singular point, it's the structure of how the cases play out. Take the first case, the driver's seat. The case begins by telling the player to check out a suspicious car. You get there and you see that there is blood all inside it. A bloody pipe and a man who was connected to the car is missing.
What have we got?
Immediate intrigue. You're hooked and you want to know where this case is going. Now let's all assume that the player is going to classify this as murder, okay? Because let's face it, that's how the case presents itself. When we talk to the wife of the victim, we find out that she knows he's being unfaithful. The missing suitcase clearly indicating that he was leaving her. And the pipe is linked right back to the house. Add on to the fact that no one can confirm her alibi. This seems like murder. Or maybe the bloody car is an entire red herring, and the picture frame and missing suitcase indicates that he was simply trying to leave, that he wanted to leave. It doesn't indicate that she wanted to kill him. And the pipe is nothing more than a convenient ploy, which in hindsight we all know that was the case. But the point is, whether or not you approach this case assuming murder or a runaway husband, this case works and stands on its own. A marriage made in heaven. Funny enough, this case is structured in the same vein as the first. The case seems straightforward, but the clues and evidence piles on. You realize that this case too is just a bit more. First, this one doesn't imply that someone died. It's introduced as a hit and run. We have a body now. I'm pretty sure I don't have to give a synopsis on this case. It goes from a hit and run case to homicide as we gather more clues. I'm going to respect everyone's intelligence here and assume we got it. But the third case here, this one doesn't try any twists and turns. It starts out by showing us that someone attempted a murder on 2 women. And that stays the same. What this case does though is 1. World building. If you forgot this game takes place in 1940s Los Angeles, the pure corruption of Hollywood is really on full display here. Jessica Hamilton. Enough said there. The other thing that this case is good at is letting the player know that this case is the finale for the traffic desk, as the game itself even states,
I'm here to buy a drink for the 2 LAPD traffic cops who broke the back of Guy McAfee's private army.
This case literally ends itself with a bang. Part 2. The one thing that in my opinion ruined the homicide desk. Now, I don't have to boil this one down. I already confirmed to myself what ruined the homicide desk. And that is the fact that every case is connected. You can also say it's the fact that it's the same killer for every case. Now, why is this a problem? Well, simply put, every clue you collected and every person you talked to and every suspect you put behind bars was all a waste of fucking time. Here is one yet really good example. The golden butterfly. The game gives us two options. The husband is the murderer. Eli is the murderer. And let's not forget this conversation.
I say we make Rooney famous. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
Can we let Mueller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for me.
I don't know about this. My gut says Mueller. We caught him trying to destroy evidence in his backyard, and that was his car with the bloody tools in it.
I never said it wasn't Mueller. Hell, he probably killed his wife, deprived that poor kid of a mother. But he's not an immediate danger to anyone else. Rooney's a threat to every kid that knows.
He's a peeper, Rusty. We can pick him up for something else.
Really want to run that risk?
It's a conversation that threads the fine line of morality. Do we arrest the husband? The evidence is pointed towards him, but there's a caveat that he might not strike again. Charge Eli? The evidence doesn't stack that well against him. But there is the whole children thing. Is Cole right? And if we pin this crime on Eli, a murderer will walk free? Or is it Rusty? And can we take the chance and allow Eli to feel unstoppable and his crimes against children get worser? It really questions the player's morality. Do you believe that murder is worse than being a pedo? Or do you believe that being a pedo is worse than murder? It's something that once it's all said and done, and you're looking at the case close screen, you may in fact be running this question throughout your mind. But then, plot twist, it was the same murderer. A mistake here, missing paperwork there, or whatever the fuck Captain said. Both of them are free. Don't get bent over who should get arrested. Doesn't matter. A waste of time. I hope that this is really all that is needed to explain why, without a doubt, this one thing ruined the entire homicide desk for me. Part 3. All the small things that add up. You know, I went over and over again in my head on how exactly I wanted to structure this section in video format, and I decided that the best choice was to do a speed round. So here we go. 1. So the killer was able to get close to the victims because he was a temp bartender.
Yes.
Except who didn't go to a bar. And since we know the husband is innocent, we can only assume he was telling the truth. 2. He uses a piece of a fence from the church to break a window. Why was it just left there? Why wasn't it scrubbed for clues? Because if it was also doused in gasoline, then it would just be an obvious giveaway. Then they could, I don't know, figure out where it came from and go from there. 3. Why does this game go out of its way to show where the bar came from? When, in A Marriage Made in Heaven, if you look around the house, you see a knife missing and deduce that it is the one that killed the victim. 4. How did he not only sneak in and leave evidence in McCaffrey's apartment, but also just assume that he wouldn't try to get rid of it? Which also leads to the other guy waking up there. What are the fucking odds? Then there is literally the torn letter, which this one McCaffrey didn't even know was there somehow.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
5. Since we all know that in the Golden Butterfly, the game wants you to arrest Eli, right?
This particular fiend is an old acquaintance. I have tried to reaffirm his belief in a wrathful and terrible God. Whichever way it goes, I'll be dealing personally with him.
Well, what about this shit?
That's the guy. Detective, that's him. That's the guy who parked the car, I'm sure of it. Hey, he's getting away!
That's not true. I can't go to jail. I say we make Rooney for this. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had a jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phil? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Mueller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for it. Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit it! Clean this asshole off the road. I'll try to shoot out his tire. Wish me luck. Hit him, Cole! Spit him out! Keep it on the road, goddammit! Bram! Deus Ex Machina. We got lucky. You and your goddamn Latin, Phelps.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Also, let's note how the janitor from school is confirming this, meaning for all intent and purposes, Hugo should be the killer. 6. He's dousing all the letters in gasoline. But where are the letters coming from? What time are they being sent? You're telling me that's not an angle they could at least check? 7. Why is he acting all smug and shit when he left a paper trail allowing himself to get caught? And on that, why did he want to get caught anyway? 8. I know he was related to some high-ranking official or whatever, but Cole needed to state he was an officer and that it was an emergency. So you're telling me that he is so high-ranked they just allowed him to walk on the fucking chandelier? 9. I'll admit this is just a repeat of the whole McCaffrey thing, but the hobo. What are the fucking odds that it just turned out in the killer's favor? 10. Are you really telling me that the piece of fence, the rope that could also be used in churches, and the whole chandelier thing in the Hall of Records was pretty much the only thing to let the player know that all the cases were connected? I can tell you my mindset falls under the architect personality type, so I can work with many variables and many angles, and people love to tell me I overthink things. But this one is really a stretch. 11. What is the average shoe size in 1940s? Is it size 8? I couldn't find any information when trying to find out what the average size was. So I guess the killer yet again got lucky with matching shoe sizes. 12. Are you telling me that the final case for Homicide is nothing more than a glorified fetch quest? Let's be real, people. That kind of stinks when you compare it to the action-packed finale of the Traffic Desk. And I know you're already saying, dude, at least it respects your intelligence and it lets you solve the case. Well, you can always just do this.
Check to make sure your home has a bird. For safety. Is the King in refreshment. Ice cold. As for that your neighborhood doctor
Solved it. Though I'll be honest, this is just an abuse of game mechanics. 13. Why? Why have one victim not drink when he gets close to the victims when they go to the bar? Why can the murderer frame everyone so easily? Why wasn't the letters followed up on beyond gasoline? Why is the captain such a fucking asshole? Why does every suspect act guilty when they're clearly not? Why have me question my morality when it doesn't matter in the end? Why is the entire homicide desk a red herring? Why am I risking people thinking I hate this game when I don't? I'm just disappointed in the homicide desk. Why is the moon so big? Why is the video titled "Watch Precaution Have This"? And if that all wasn't enough, I saved another doozy for last. Maybe you still don't see any issues about the cases all being connected. Well, unlike the other desk that didn't do that, it also doesn't have any DLC. And I bet you if every murder case was separate, we could have gotten some. Well, I truly hope I did the best job I could in at least conveying why I think the homicide desk was such a disappointment to me. And I want to stress the words convey and me. I have not nor ever had any intentions with this video to convince you to feel the same. Whether you walk away from this video completely agreeing with me, completely disagreeing with me, and think the homicide is the best desk, or some combination of the two, I just want to reach an agreement that just because I'm disappointed in one thing, doesn't mean I hate this game, because far from it. And it truly sucks that no matter what me or you do or don't do, let's face it, we're probably not going to get an LA Noire 2. So as it stands, I can bitch and moan about Homicide all I want. It doesn't change the fact that this is still one of the best detective games ever made. Okay, now for all intent and purposes, the video is basically done. If you watched up until now, thanks. But I don't mind if you leave the video here. Well, you may have noticed that, I said if you leave the video here. You may have also noticed I've also said, video's basically done. You may have also noticed that I'm still talking. You may have also noticed that it's been around 6 months since my last video, and almost an entire year since my last analytical video, which was Starfield. And the sole reason of why you've seen this back screen and why the video's even still going on is because I just felt like I should explain it for some reason. Okay. The reason why there was this long ass hiatus and this huge gap in me posting anything is because for the first time in my life, I was depressed. There, I got it out there. I said it. Bam, I said it. I'm moving on. That's it. That's the explanation. I'm not revealing shit. It was nothing, worth nothing, easy. It came out of nowhere. I kicked this fucking ass. I get out of here. This video's uploaded. So that's that. That's all I wanted to say. As always sounds stupid, but I was like, because this ain't the first time, by the way. I've had like long hiatuses where like my channel would just be like blank, right? And bam, a video. I don't know. I just felt that, I don't know, you needed a reason. So there's your reasoning. So that's that. I did my due diligence. I don't want to reveal anything. It's nobody's concern. It's nobody's business. And let's face it, we're all humans, and you don't know me personally, so you don't even fucking care. So, bam. Done, done, done. I did it. I completed it. I pushed forward. Video over. Take care. Bye-bye.